Imagine relying on a dozen different software programs to run your business, none of which are connected, and each one more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now, imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform. Doesn't Odoo sound amazing? Let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
It's Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 28th, 2024. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm George Gerbo. President-elect Trump says his campaign promise to cut spending may hinge on his plan to challenge a 1974 law limiting a president's authority to block the spending of money appropriated by Congress. Republican lawmakers share his desire to reduce spending, but Lindsay McPherson reports some disagree with his plan to circumvent Congress and dispute the Impoundment Control Act of 1974. The act was enacted to clarify Congress's constitutional power of the purse and codify impoundment restrictions after another controversial Republican, President Richard Nixon, faced various court challenges over withheld funds. Trump says the reductions would not target national defense programs, Social Security, or Medicare. The FBI is investigating bomb threats and swatting incidents against several President-elect Trump's nominees. Tom Howell reports the FBI said it would coordinate with local law enforcement agencies that responded to the initial threats against Agriculture Secretary-designate Brooke Rollins, EPA Administrator-designate Lee Zeldin, and others. No one has been harmed, and the incidents are under investigation. Figures released by the Oregon Health Authority show the number of abortions performed after 23 weeks of gestation rose from 85 in 2022 to 225 in 2023. Valerie Richardson reports that overall, the number of abortions in the state rose to 10,075, an increase of 16.2% from 2022 and the highest state total since 2009. So-called abortion tourism may account for the rise as women from states with strict laws seek procedures elsewhere. In Oregon, 16% of abortions were performed on non-resident women, an increase of 60% from 2022. Groups are urging illegal immigrants in the U.S. under the DACA program to renew their permits now as they fear a draconian crackdown from the incoming Trump administration. Stephen Dinan reports no other policy area is facing such a significant shift in the next administration. Activists are advising immigrants to seek protection in communities, and groups are begging the Biden administration to tear down as much of the immigration enforcement apparatus as possible in the 8 weeks until the transfer of power. That includes calls to cancel deportation hearings, as well as canceling contracts for detention facilities. A former CIA analyst says in his new book that federal government diversity policies have damaged the effectiveness of U.S. intelligence agencies. Bill Gertz reports John Gentry describes James Clapper, the Obama administration's director of national intelligence, as an overtly partisan leader. He said senior intelligence officials also rationalized DEI policies under President Biden as motivated by politics rather than performance. And finally, Liam Griffin talks with a Washington football superfan who is ready to part with 42 years worth of memorabilia he has collected. Samu Qureshi's collection includes a ball signed by the 1937 Washington team that won the NFL championship, seats from Griffith Stadium, RFK Stadium, and Northwest Stadium, and more. The collection has been moved from a basement to a nondescript office building, and the Bethesda man wants to sell it to the team so the franchise can start a museum honoring its storied history. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Imagine relying on a dozen different software programs to run your business, none of which are connected, and each one more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now, imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one platform. Doesn't Odoo sound amazing? Let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. Sign up today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.